Hey, so today we're at Derby Hill Bird Observatory in Mexico, New York. Tim from Zen of Birds, and I'm here with Melissa. And we've never been here before, honestly. And so we're really excited to see what it's all about. It's a huge observatory for hawks and raptors, but I know there's some other birds that you can see here too. It's not just all about the hawks and raptors. So we're hoping to see just a little bit of everything today and check it out. Okay, so we're standing here on a bluff. It's a lookout that's just overlooks Lake Ontario, and you can kind of see, some birds out there. It's a great day on the lake, so there's boaters. I don't know if you can see them or not, but we saw a few ducks down here, some mergansers, and some other little birds that we really couldn't spot. But this isn't really the big attraction here at Derby Hill. Of course, the big attraction is just across the driveway. Where that's where the hawk lookout is. So let's go over there. Derby Hill is actually one of the premier hawk watches on the entire east coast of the United States. During the spring months, something like 40,000 raptors pass through here in migration, as they migrate north to Canada. But here's the really cool thing about it and why it makes it such a great place to come to look for raptors and hawks. So, like, raptors like to, when they migrate, they like to surf the thermals, right? Because if they're on the thermals, they don't have to flap their wings. I guess they're kind of lazy like me. So the issue is that with Lake Ontario right here, there are no thermals over water. They need to be over land. So when they hit Lake Ontario, they head east, and this is where they come. It's really one of the first points just to the east where there's land. And that's why we get such a large number of raptors in the spring. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in the background or not, but there are just tons of tree swallows out here. And they are notoriously difficult to take a picture of because they kind of zig and zag and they go really quick. And just when you think where they're going to be, they're not. They've gone somewhere else. So a real pain in the ass bird to photograph, but a really pretty bird to watch. And, that's just how it is. So we're not seeing a whole lot of raptors here today. We got here late in the day, which is totally our fault, and it's a different story, and I'm not going to get into it. But we have seen quite a few birds so far. We've seen tree swallows, and I'm going to try and get a picture of them for you, but they are like a super fast little bird, so sorry if I don't. We've seen turkey vultures. There's lots of those here. In fact, I saw this last week, there are days where they're seeing thousands and thousands a day of turkey vultures. We've seen sparrows, of course, and then we just saw a bluebird up here on a post. Really beautiful little bird. So, yeah.
And the New York State bird.
Oh, there you go, the New York State bird. Welcome to New York State. So the plan is that we're going to kind of walk through some of the fields here. Behind or to the, off to the side of south of the hawk watch, really probably east of the hawk watch. There are some fields and meadows, and there's lots of great little birds out here too. So the plan is that we're going to kind of head out this way and see what we can see. So we just came out of a brushy area, and there's tons of sparrows down in the bushes, and this is the time of year when it's really frustrating to me anyway. It's like sparrows are brown. They're sometimes kind of hard to tell apart, like what kind of sparrow it is. And when the bush is brown and the sparrows are brown, it's just a recipe for a lot of frustration. So we saw sparrows. I can't tell you which kind. I can guess, but I'm not going to do that. Just call them sparrows.
All right, so we're just walking through this little patch between two fields, and we looked up here in the trees and we saw a northern flicker.
Pretty good bird. Not a bad bird. Not our first of the year, but it's a cool looking bird. More sparrows in the brush. I guess that's why some birders call them LBJs. They're just little brown jobbers. Not, President Johnson, but LBJs are little brown jobbers. And they're all over the place. And I just can't see them fast enough. They fly away. Frustrating. Okay, so the plan now is that we're going to work our way back up through the fields, go back out through the hawk lookout, and see if we can see any raptors or hawks, see if anything has improved there at all. And if not, I've got another plan. So one of the things that I love about Derby Hill is that it's a kind of one of those places where people gather. You know, I mean, it's early April. It is much warmer than it should be for this time of year, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous day out. So there's a ton of people here. They're all in their chairs, and they're sitting there with their dogs and their coolers. And you know, it's okay for something like this to bring your dog, right? I mean, I guess because you're just kind of sitting there. It's kind of a picnic. But for God's sakes, don't take your dog out birding with you. It stresses the birds out. It's kind of a pain. They kind of crap on the trails, and
you annoy your fellow birders.
you annoy your fellow birders. I mean, have a little respect for each other. So
And
we have a
too.
dog. We love dogs. They're great, but leave your dog at home, okay? Okay, we just saw a couple more birds walking back. We saw fly over kind of low. It looked like it was a kestrel. Is what we're calling it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Didn't get a picture because it flew by pretty fast. And that's kind of the problem with hawks sometimes. If they're up high, you know, in a distance, it's hard to bring them in sometimes. And if they're down low, they're going pretty fast. But we also just saw a downy woodpecker. So lots of downy woodpeckers this spring, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with us and downy woodpeckers. We're just woodpecker
They
magnets.
make noise so you can find them.
So coming back out to the hawk watch area, up in the sky, not too high, but you know, still up there, we saw what looked to be a sharp-shinned hawk. We're gonna have to take a look at the film and make sure that we're right on that because it kind of went by, you know, kind of quick, and you know, it's not that easy, but pretty sure it was. So another cool bird. So our backup plan after Derby Hill, the main hawk watch, was to go to a lower part. And they have what they call the South Marsh. And it's nice. They have a blind there to overlook the marsh. And we were kind of hoping to see some water birds. Fingers crossed, you know, maybe something else. But we didn't. And that's totally our fault because it's the wrong time of day. We completely screwed up.
Yep.
We messed around and didn't get out of the house until late. And so it's like mid to late afternoon now, which is generally not a great time for birds, and it's our fault. So what did we see today? Well, we saw the mergansers right out of the car, right? And then we saw tree swallows, lots of those.
Bluebird.
Bluebirds, we saw a bluebird. We saw a downy woodpecker, that was cool.
Right.
We saw
Northern flicker.
Saw a flicker.
Some
We saw vultures, lots of vultures, right? Red-winged blackbirds, of course, sparrows of indeterminate species, well, LBJs. And then we also saw a couple of sharp-shinned hawks, you know. The one I thought might be a kestrel, but I think it was a sharp-shinned hawk, so I'm going to go with that. It was a couple of sharp-shinned hawks, which was pretty cool. So on the day, we saw things that we hadn't seen so far this year. A lot of things we had seen, but a few things we hadn't. If you're going by just the sheer number of birds we saw, probably not our best birding day, right?
Not at all.
But the question is that what you go by? I mean, is that how you gauge, you know, how good a day you had birding? And I think it really comes down to why do you bird, right? Is it all about just seeing as many birds as you can possibly see on any given day? Or is there more to it? And I think, you know, for me, there's more to it. I mean, how about you?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think for some people it's a competition, but that's not what it is for me. I got into it just because, like a lot of people, I struggle with worry and anxiety, and I thought being outdoors would bring me some peace, and birding does that because when you're out there, you really have to be present. You have to focus and listen and look and just pay attention to where you are, and so that really pushes aside all the mental things that tend to go through your head throughout the day.
You're not really thinking about like work. You're not really thinking about all the stuff you got to do when you get back home. You're not really thinking about all that stuff. You're really just there and you're present because you're looking for birds and you're out there in nature. So from that standpoint, it's been a great day.
It has.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. And it's still early. It's like early April. So we're going to be going back to Derby Hill. If you have a chance to go to Derby Hill, I'd encourage you to do it if you're in the area. And check out some of the other birding spots that are really close by, because this is a really great area for birds, especially spring birds, okay? Like always, if you're interested in more stuff or more information about birds and birding, take a look at our website, zenitbirds.com. We'll also include some links in the description about Derby Hill and some other birding spots in the area. All right? Thanks a lot. See you next time.